Here's several steps. How did I choose PostgreSQL? The first, how many data can be stored in PostgreSQL and Mongo? Based on data comes from internet. Both of them can store a large amount of data, so it's not important how did I choose database. And for backup, both of them support replications and shardings, so it's not a very important one I choose database. But for data type, because of in this scenario both of house data and weather data are structured and have specific means. So I think data type is the most important reason I choose PostgreSQL, because of string is most common one in Mongo, and it's hard to define data type when using JSON format. So the biggest problem is if data insert with wrong keys and values, it's hard to define. It's hard to find, but if data types are cleared and can be defined by user, such as enum. In weather data, indicators have few options, so I can define indicators as enum. And if not matched, and if the data I insert not matched with this data type, the error message will come up. That's why I choose PostgreSQL. For scaling data, here the company provides this service. Will need to record Ireland data. The data comes from Ireland and data comes from British. For Ireland and British, I separate them into different counties and different cities and different areas and different homes. For that I designed a table. The first one is country table, country code as a primary key, and another one is county table. County ID is primary key and country code is foreign key. And city table, city ID is the primary key and county ID is foreign key. For area code is primary key and city ID is foreign key. For house table, postcode is primary key and area code is foreign key. For different house might have different structured data, such like power and temperature and other data. So for each home I have two different tables. The one is power and another one is temperature. Both of power and temperature, the date time is primary key and postcode is a foreign key. For weather table, because of different city has different weather stations, so in weather table it might have different fields in here, such as this time, such as indicator rain, and if this station didn't do some records for rain, it can be delayed. It can be delayed or as a none here, as a non value here. Also, in weather table, the date time is primary key. For backup, how did I prepare data? I read KRA file and observe data. I find the date in CSV file is wrong, so I reformat that date in Excel. After that, I create tables and copy data into database. Here's the code I create. How did I create table? First of all, I create enum type. The one is indicator for rain, indicator for temperature, indicator for WB, and so on. After that, I create a table for weather data, and I import data from CSV file. Similar, I also create another table called temperature and another table for record power. After that, I create index for tables. I create weather date on array Dublin on this table. I choose date as the index. Finally, for the backup, there are several ways to backup. The one is backup one database if it's small, and if the database is big, I can dump it as a zip file. And for if the database is big and hard to dump, there's another way to backup database for master server and slave server. First of all, I set up two servers. The one is my Linux machine, and another one is my Windows machine. Before I record data changed from master machine, I need to replicate data from master server into slave server. After that, I need to check if backup database is connect with my master server. The client address is my Windows machine and the state is asynchronous. If I create database in my master server and in my slave server, it can be in my slave server. This new database can be seen, but can be used, but cannot be changed. So I also can check the progress on my Linux machine to check if my slaver machine is connected with my Windows machine. Here is my replication. Here is my slaver server here, and records streams. I think is the minimum is 16 megabytes here. So every time I set new records of some operation in my master machine, in my Windows machine, it asynchronized, but it contains the whole data which is in my master server. If master server is shut down, it can use sliver server can be used as a backup. Here is the SQL for how did I get data from database. I need to select average power and average temperature, and both of them in 2018. It's quite long query, but it can be reused. And for data analysis,